Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment. So we are back for the second attempt at this, my week one picks and predictions. It certainly is week one. We're a little rusty. The first attempt, way too laggy because now YouTube really wants you to have the live streaming studio on at the same time. But I realized, you know what? Let me have another laptop dedicated for that and then one laptop dedicated for streaming. So I hope the quality is better. We're back for week one. Now, real quick announcement, we're doing the SFE, the Sports Fan Entertainment Pickem League once again. The link to this is in the description box below. Now, if you're waiting for the live stream, you might have to refresh the live stream because I literally just put it in the description box. If you're watching this after the live stream or any moment, actually from this moment forward, it's now the link to the league in the description box. Password is SFE. The top three prizes will be a $100 gift card, $50 gift card, and a $25 gift card. And for those of you that don't know what this is, you go on ESPN every week. You pick straight up winners for each and every NFL game. There's probably going to end up being a lot of people in it, so it's not going to be easy to win a gift card, but you certainly can. And it'll be like, I'll ask you whatever gift card you want, honestly, but like Amazon, NFL, whatever. As long as it's, not, Pornhub, and even if it was, I might still do it. So with that said, let's move on to NFL Week 1 picks and predictions, and let us begin with the first game, with the Thursday night football game featuring the Houston Texans taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, this is a matchup where currently the Kansas City Chiefs are a 9.5-point favorite. Now, I understand they're coming off of their Super Bowl win and everyone is convinced, including the Kansas City Chiefs that gave them $450 million, that Patrick Mahomes is the son of God himself. This is the second coming and he's going to dominate everyone from here on out. But wait a minute, even though the Texans are idiots and they traded away Watson. No, they traded away DeAndre Hopkins. They still have Deshaun Watson, an elite quarterback in this league, and a quarterback that shows up in games like this. I remember week one last year, they went to New Orleans. They competed. They almost won that football game. They show up in these type of games normally. Even in the playoff game, okay, now the Chiefs definitely ran away with things. But early, the Texans were doing well. 9.5 is for me, especially with considering, the bubble and everything, no preseason, the Texans come out easily and win this football game. Now, I'm going to have the Chiefs winning this game. Don't get me wrong. But 9.5 points, way too much for me. So give me the Chiefs to win this game. With it being, a ring, ceremony, whatnot, all that nonsense, and the opener of the NFL season. But I think it's going to be closer than Vegas certainly thinks right now. Okay, next we have the Seattle Seahawks at the Atlanta Falcons. And this is a matchup where I have some concerns because the Seahawks are certainly inconsistent. They've been better on the road. They were certainly pretty damn good on the road last season, but they definitely have their inconsistency on the road. But for right now, I think the safer bet is just to bet on Russell Wilson to win late than to bet on Matt Ryan to win late. Matt Ryan's been more inconsistent with that, and the Falcons definitely ended last season with some good momentum. Need to see a little bit more before I buy into them this season, despite the addition of Todd Gurley. Give me the Seattle Seahawks to win this one. Next game, we have the New York Jets at the Buffalo Bills. This is probably going to be one of the most boring games of the week. Now, I'm interested to see how good the Buffalo Bills are because I currently have them as right there with the Titans as the third best team in the AFC coming in. I'm absolutely sure that's not going to be the case going out. But for right now, coming in, that's what I have. Stephon Diggs, great addition for their offense. Defense, still great. Jets, disaster. This Adam Gase thing, it's not working out for right now for Adam Gase in New York. I think this season, it's not going to be a total disaster. Like I've seen some people having them going 3-13. No, it's not going to be that bad, but it's going to be another 6-10, and it begins this week with the Buffalo Bills getting it done against the Jets. Next game, we have the Las Vegas Raiders at the Carolina Panthers. And you know what, Raider fans, I'm starting to drink the Kool-Aid a little bit. And it's not because my boy Marcus Mariota is there because he's on IR. And he should be back. It should be a quick IR because now there's so many IRs. It's ridiculous. The rules changed. You can go on IR for 3 weeks and come back out of what I don't know what's going on. But for this game against the Panthers, look, I'm not a big Teddy Bridgewater fan. I think this is a transitional year for the Panthers. I'm not buying what they're selling right now. Whereas the Raiders, yes, you did just lose Terrell Williams to an injury, but I like Henry Ruggs. I think they're going to force feed Henry Ruggs. I like Derek Carr, and I like the Raiders overall more than the Panthers right now. So give me the Raiders even in Carolina. Next game, you have the Chicago Bears at the Detroit Lions. Now, you guys know I like to drink the Detroit Lions Kool-Aid. You know, that's one of my favorite Kool-Aids. It's light blue. Light blue is my favorite color. Ooh, that blueberry. Give me some of that Kool-Aid, dog. But you know, it burns me so much, right? Sometimes that Kool-Aid has been in the sun for too long. Sometimes someone put it in the microwave. Sometimes someone's boiled it a little bit, and it always, ends up being too hot for my tongue. Now, these are the Chicago Bears, so I'm not really afraid of because they're continuing to start Mitchell Trubisky. And, this is surprising to some people, but wait a minute. Nick Foles is not good. So why are you surprised that he big Nicholas Foles in training camp? That doesn't mean anything. So give me the Lions to win here. They're healthy right now. Now, they're not going to be healthy in, 2 months. Forget about it. But right now, they're healthy. And when they're healthy, this is a game that they normally win in Detroit. Okay, next game. We have the Indianapolis Colts at the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars are doing their thing. They're doing their move once again. Another rebuilding effort for the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is at least the third or fourth time that they've done this in the last 2 decades. I'm here for it. I love seeing it each and every time. Yay! I mean, they just traded away. They even traded away. They released Leonard Fournette. I mean, it's a disaster. And it begins this Sunday as I have the Indianapolis Colts taking care of business, being the Jaguars 29-14. Next game, we had the Green Bay Packers at the Minnesota Vikings. And I think people are sleeping on the Packers last season. Look, I get it to a certain extent because, the Packers were one of the weakest 13-3 teams we've ever seen last season. But they made some improvements. Now, not nearly as much as they should have, but they made some improvements. And, Aaron Rodgers is getting more familiar with this wide receiver core. I'm expecting them to be more legitimate Super Bowl contenders this season than they were last season. May have a worse record, may only be 11-12 wins, will be a stronger team. And this is a great opportunity for them to step up and show that. And now Aaron Rodgers has a fire lit under him now that the Packers took Jordan Love. Give me the Green Bay Packers to go week 1 to Minnesota and win here, especially considering the fact that Minnesota won't have the stadium capacity that they normally do. All right, next game we have the Miami Dolphins at the New England Patriots. And the Patriots, they've come out, they said, okay, we're starting the black man, Cam Newton, okay? And I'm telling you right now, I'm not sure the extent of his abilities right now, but if he went in and he beat Jarrett Stidham and Brian Hoyer, and I know that's not, the most amazing accomplishment ever right there, to beat Brian Hoyer and Jarrett Stidham. But if he was able to do that, he still has something left in the tank. They have something in store. They're going to run them around, and they're still going to be a little dangerous. Not Super Bowl contenders, but dangerous, especially with still what might be the best secondary in the NFL right now. And with Ryan Fitzpatrick still starting, that secondary going to eat, and they want to get revenge from how they ended last season against the Dolphins. Give me the Patriots to win this one. Next game, give me the Cleveland Browns at the Baltimore Ravens. I'm so actually excited for this game because I need to see where the Browns are at. Are there chemistry concerns now behind them? And remember, they were one of the few teams to defeat the Baltimore Ravens last season. One of how many teams? I want to say 3. I want to say it was the Browns, it was the Titans, and I think the Chiefs. And I think that was literally it. So, and then the Titans beat them in the playoffs. They're only one of 2 teams to successfully do it in the regular season. So the Browns have something that disturbs the Ravens. And this was early in the season, but it was something that disturbed the Ravens. So I'm looking out for this matchup. And why it's +8 for the Browns, I get it because the Ravens are a very strong team, and I think they're going to run through this season literally with their running game, similar to how they did last season. So do give me, overall, the Ravens to win this game. I think it's going to be around the 8 points that it's currently at. So I'm not going to bet on it. But I'm telling you, it will be competitive, and the Browns will be in there, nearing the end of the game. So next game, we have the Philadelphia Eagles at the Washington football team. So at last, we can make a prediction on the Washington football team. Oh, I'm going to love saying that, the Washington football team. I was prepared to call them the Washington no-names, but they finally decided to go with the football team. All right, so what will the football team do this upcoming game? Now, for some reason, I think it was last year, The Washington, at the time, Redskins actually competed a little bit against the Eagles week 1. And Deshaun Jackson kind of went off, and then that was it. I expect a similar result here. Is Ron Rivera leadership. I expect the football team, I don't know what to call it, Washington. I expect Washington to come out and be a little motivated to sneak up on Philly a little bit if Philly's not ready to play. They could even upset here. I'm not going to go as far as to say that, but I will go as far as to say this. I think it's going to be competitive. I think it's going to be closer than a lot of people think it will, but ultimately, come on. I do have to go with the Philadelphia Eagles to beat the Washington football team here. Next game, we have the LA Chargers at the Cincinnati Bengals. And I'm intrigued by this matchup, people. Look, I'm okay with the Chargers on paper. I'm not okay with, I think, the overall morality and mentality around the team right now. I think they understand it's a transitional year as they get Justin Herbert integrated and involved. Tyrod Taylor doesn't inspire much confidence out of anybody. Whereas the Bengals, it's nothing but optimism. They have Joe Burrow, and it's going to be his first game. Not even a preseason game. Will there be nerves there? No, dude. The guy was made out of cold ice. If you can win games for LSU, especially in the climate and having to put up the points that he did, I'm not worried about Joe Burrow being nervous. So I think this is going to be close, people. But ultimately, yeah, I do have to go with the Chargers. They're the veteran team at this point, especially offensively. And they should have the advantage, but I'm telling you, the Bengals might sneak up on the Chargers here, so just be advised of that. Next game, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the New Orleans Saints. As Thomas Brady strides into town, and I'm very intrigued by this matchup. And you may have noticed I'm predicting some higher scoring games this upcoming week. Now, some people are going against this or saying there's going to be a lot of offensive chemistry issues. Yes. But at the same time, I think there's going to be a lot of defensive lapses in concentration, people wide open, and I think you're going to see some fireworks in this one. I think it's going to be a great representation of what we can expect from both these teams going forward to a large extent. So I'm very much looking forward to this matchup. And I think you're going to see something very similar to Tom Brady, as we saw, not to Tom Brady, but to Peyton Manning. As we saw Peyton Manning integrate himself into the Denver Broncos later in his career, right from the get-go. They were absolutely balls to the wall, hitting the ground running. I want to say that was Peyton Manning's 7-touchdown game. I really want to say that was his 7-touchdown game. No, it could have been the next year. No, it was his second year with the Broncos. That was his 7-touchdown game against the Ravens. But even that first game, which I want to say was maybe against the Colts, he hit the ground pretty well running. The Broncos' offense was already smooth, so I expect something similar to that. However, ultimately, right now, you still have to give it the Saints. They have the experience. They have the chemistry. They have everything at this point that the Buccaneers are trying to really, replicate. So for right now, you got to give it the Saints. But the Buccaneers are coming. All right, next is going to be the Arizona Cardinals at the San Francisco 49ers. So this is where things become interesting. So this is where we watch things. Because everyone's expecting Kyler Murray to pop off. He's going to be fantastic. He's going to be great. And I told you coming in, I loved Kyler Murray as a talent. I didn't love his rookie season as much as everyone did because I thought he made a lot of great plays, but he made a lot of mistakes to me, and he didn't show that his mental facilities of reading the game could be as high as I wanted them to be. He missed a lot of simple stuff last year. We'll see. For right now, the 49ers are still the better bet, especially at home, especially coming off of the Super Bowl loss. So give me the 49ers here, but I'll be watching this matchup very vigilantly. Next game, we have the Dallas Cowboys at the Los Angeles Rams. Now, the Cowboys have had their issues facing LA lately, over the past number of seasons. But now, again, they have such a strong base in LA. You'd be surprised by this. Now, the fans obviously don't matter for this game. But, they just have such a comfort now going to LA. It's a trip that they're so now familiar with. It's like a divisional opponent. And, really, they face them every year at this point, like the past 4 years. So I expect them to finally get it done in LA, beat the Rams here at 34-30, and move on with their lives. Cowboys, to me, are Super Bowl contenders this year. Next game, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the New York Giants. Now, the New York Giants find themselves in an interesting position as Daniel Jones ascends into town. A lot of people thought he was going to have a horrible rookie year. I was never on that wave. I thought he was a better pick than Dwayne Haskins. I think he's going to continue to prove to be a better pick than Dwayne Haskins. But for this game, they're facing the Steelers. And remember how strong the Steelers were last season, a 500 team without Ben Roethlisberger. Now he's inserting himself back into the fray, back into the fruition, and it's a problem for the New York Giants, absolutely to me. And by the way, I'm seeing that there's some lag. If you're getting lag now, everything was going great, and then some lag is coming through, but it might have just fixed itself. Let me make some adjustments if I can. Okay, yeah, I'm doing as much as I can here to stop the lag, but this new YouTube streaming is just killing me. But give me the Pittsburgh Steelers to win this game here in New York. Okay, next game you have the Tennessee Titans at the Denver Broncos. Now, it's unfortunate for the Broncos. Von Miller went down. Okay, this is not, ideal for them. Okay, trust me. It helps us, okay? Now, Dennis Kelly, I thought was going to hold his own. Now, I think, Von Miller and Bradley Chubb, they do rotate them a little bit. So, granted, whether it be Dennis Kelly or Taylor Vaughn, they would have done all right. But now I feel much better about that. And I also feel good knowing that the Broncos still have a younger offense, that they haven't gotten to the rhythm and the flow because of the preseason not being existing at all, because there was no preseason. Now this young Broncos offense hasn't gotten it going, whereas we got into our stride at the end of last season. We have now veterans. Like, Derrick Henry's now a veteran. Like, he's entering his second contract. Ryan Tannehill's absolutely a veteran. We have veterans now offensively. So give us the advantage there. Give me the Tennessee Titans to win this game 27-23. And with that, so beginning to my guarantees of the week. These are my betting picks of the week. And we start where I mentioned earlier, where the Texans are plus 9.5. I think this number is way too high. Again, look, I get it. The Chiefs dominated the Texans in that divisional game. Granted. But, man, it's just too many points to me. At the very least, Deshaun Watson can be a backdoor cover. Give me the plus 9.5. And then, look, I know with the whole coronavirus situation, with no, training camp, with little training camp and not as much preseason, there's going to be offensive issues, but I think 54.5 is too low. Because if you're telling me that the Kansas City Chiefs are so good that they're plus 9, that they're minus 9.5, they're favored by 10 points, well, it's because you're expecting them to put up at least 35, maybe at least 30. At the very least 30. And then Deshaun Watson's going to give you at least 21. Like, he's going to give at least 21. So I feel comfortable with the 54.5 there. So I have that pick right there. We also have Cleveland at Baltimore over 48.5. Now, again, I know I'm going higher than some people would go, but if you're telling me right now that Baltimore is an 8-point favorite, it's because you believe they're just going to run and have, almost their way with Cleveland and put up at least 30 to me. And then I expect Cleveland to provide the other 20. So I feel comfortable with that pick right there. However, I do not feel comfortable with the Jets and the Bills because these two teams don't know how to score well. The Bills are going to be better at that, but their running game is still, a work in progress. Passing game is still going to be a work in progress a little bit as they integrate, Stephon Diggs into the mix. And then also you look at the Jets. Well, the Jets just stink offensively, so you ain't got to worry about them. Okay, they ain't throwing the ball to nobody right now in New York. Okay, so go ahead and give me the under 39.5 there, and then give me the Seahawks -2, just because, when it comes to the Seahawks and Pickem, I trust Russell Wilson. This is a man that gets it done. So give me the Seahawks -2 for my guarantees. Okay, so that does it. Oh, we were doing so well without the lag, and then the lag came at the end of the stream. I'm going to have to find a solution to the lag. But don't you guys worry. I will be on it next time. So until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.